What's up, everyone? Good evening. All right, well, let's jump right into it. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. So it's been a very interesting time for Bitcoin, altcoins too. Everything, it's been good, right? We've been seeing some good times, and now we've been running through a little resistance on this way up. So can't complain though. We're sitting at 103,000 for Bitcoin, right? There we go. That looks a little nicer. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to jump right in, guys. I want to look at my portfolio. I mean, we could even look at the economic calendar. We did have a news heavy week this last week. So we can look for this upcoming week. Let's see what we got going on. So Monday, not looking at this. There's some Chinese news, but just looking at the U.S. news for now. Chinese retail sales is tonight. Actually, right now in 3 minutes. So for this week, Monday, some Fed speakers in the morning. Some Canadian news on Tuesday. More Fed speakers on Tuesday. Some energy, heating stuff, whatever, Wednesday. Fed speakers. So it doesn't seem like we have a news heavy week. Okay, existing home sales on Thursday. And then Friday. Building permits. Fed speakers. So it looks like we're going into a news light week. Not very much news this week. So it's just good to note. And we can jump into Bitcoin and start some top-down analysis. Let's start at the weekly, because it looks like we're running a little weekly resistance. I had this area marked up here already. I think that's from the daily chart, though. But looking at this weekly, we're kind of matching where these candles had closed their tops at, the bodies at, the highs of the candle bodies, just wicks above. So I don't know. I think that's a kind of important range. Even just looking at this one big red candle here where we're coming up, and this was kind of one of the first big rejections. So even looking at this as a range would make sense to me. Like that. So for now though, it looks like we're kind of meeting some resistance. It'll be interesting to see what we do in the week after the weekend's over. Weekends aren't my favorite, so let's see right now. So yeah, last week we just kind of chopped at this level. So on Thursday the 8th is when we kind of made this push up from 96,000 all the way up to 104,000. And then start chopping. Couldn't really find couldn't break out yet. But we can see that's, that doesn't mean it's bearish. That's for sure. Here it went up, chopped sideways just like this, and then broke out. So more squigglies. Since those last squigglies predicted well, you know what I'm going to do? Watch this. Same thing again, because that would be amazing. But of course it could be anything. That's at least a decent move, 5% or so if you're trading leverage or something. But really what I'm looking for here is alts to outperform. During a move like this, catch some alts that are going to do 3 times the amount or more. Or even, 4, 5, 6, 10 times the amount percentage wise. So that's more what I'd be interested in this move. Otherwise, I don't know. I'd rather maybe, if I was going to buy Bitcoin, could maybe argue a breakout. So I'm just going to start planning for the future. Maybe I should go ahead and mark some alerts here. So I'm just going to mark an alert for the breakout, which is crazy, $110,000 Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm just wanting to manage my portfolio, and having my live stream is really a good reason to jump on and make sure I am looking at everything and maintaining everything and keeping everything in track, planning out my next moves, being prepared for the next week. So I want to make sure I'm at least getting on a few times a week, and really I want to do more, but I've already kind of had my positions. I haven't had to do too much managing. So this is where I'd be interested to actually get in a trade at a breakout. I would maybe look for longs on altcoins if we came back down and everything started looking good down here. So I'm also going to put a alert down here, this high volume area. For now, it's kind of what I'm looking at. If we break down, I might actually want to get out of some positions, is the other thing. So I'm going to add a few more alerts, breaking out and breaking down. I'm going to put this one's breaking down, right? Check alt positions. And then the one that's for breaking down. I'm gonna put check alt trades, maybe get out. So I had written wrong on this top one. This alert is for breaking out. Breaking out. I'm going to say consider adding the alts. Or trailing. Or trailing stop loss up. I could also mark that up on the chart. I'm gonna put add or lock in profit. I don't really like this way that looks on the chart. I'll leave it. Normally I was doing these white labels. So that's the daily. I guess I might as well look at the 4 hour. Let's see how this resistance looks that we've been running into right now. I want to erase this range. So yeah, I mean, really that range is the one right now, the current range. We have been meeting resistance, kind of making lower highs, but we're also making higher lows, so. All right, so time to check on the alts. I don't think I need to go down to lower time frame with the way it's chopping right now. I don't think that's going to help. We can look at the hourly. Looks very similar to this previous chop. I mean, I don't know, try to trade. I tried not to like think about it, but I kind of see that like fractal, you know. Looks a little similar right here. So either way though, it's holding up. That's better than not. I think if anything, I'd rather lean bullish. Which is good for the alt positions. So zooming back out, let's look at my trades here. I can go to my portfolio and just get a quick glimpse. So I'm down about $100 from my highs. Smart trades. Okay, that's what I want to look at. So let's see how my current trades are doing. All right, so the Cardano trade is actually underwater now. I might get my second fill. So I'm gonna look at that on Bookmap. I mean, sorry, on Bookmap, on TradingView, and it's crazy. Look how close it was to my TP. I can't believe I didn't get it filled. Look at that. 86.35, and my TP was at 87.23. So just a tad bit more, and I would have got tagged out for TP1. Kind of sucks, but it doesn't look bad. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this trade on. I actually have another fill at 71.88, so maybe we'll get tagged for that other fill right here, 71.88, and I'm just gonna hold it. And we have Tron. What, that was on the 4-hour. Yeah, I mean, I still feel good about this trade. I just can't believe how close it was to my TP1. Like, that is so ridiculous. I could have trailed up too and taken profit and just been done with this trade. It went up about 20%, right? It did. It went up 20% from my entry. But I could have trailed the stop along the way and just locked in that trade and been done. So it would have been nice. That would have been just a nice easy win and been done, move on. I was kind of considering it while seeing that how the market was. I did actually consider taking some profit or locking it in, but I just wanted to let these trades play out. So let's go to Tron. That's my other position here. FET, we did get both TPs. I didn't see it. Where's little sneaky Tron? Finding Tron on Kraken. There it is. Tron's still looking really good, huh? And Tron we got filled all the way. So I'm just going to hold that. We have TP1, TP2, and then a big trailing runner. FET already hit. It's just a runner now. I consider just closing this to count the win, but then just hold the runner. It's just this very, very tiny mini position. These are very small positions. Solana is sitting up at 15%. Solana TP1 hit, TP2 didn't hit though. Same thing with XRP, TP1 hit, but TP2 didn't. So these are just chilling. Solana has more orders to fill too that didn't get filled. I think TP1 hit, let me see. Yep, TP1, 80% of the position filled. So if I get filled these other entries, I might add back TP1 again on ADA and on Solana. As well, FET still didn't get filled. Even though it hit both TPs, it didn't get filled a little bit more. So I'm going to leave those on though. Going to the grid bot positions. Let's see. Grid bots are botting away. The XRP one's up 191. ETH is up 42. We see the ETH has been working good right now, and we've been chopping, so it's been capitalizing on that. XRP, same thing. It's spread out a little bit more on XRP the way I have the grid set. It's a little different. I was just thinking that XRP could make slightly bigger moves with the spread, like the distance between the grids, the buys and the sells. So that I thought when XRP goes, it might go a little bit quicker and clear through it, just because that's what it had been doing in this range already. So I spread it out a little bit, which would help it be more profitable on those bigger moves, hit these higher targets, holding more for the higher targets than selling on the way up as many times or more times. So that looks good. We actually almost went to the highs of the range. There's only 2 more orders on that, and we're dipping back down. So that's GridBot doing its thing. So far profits 233 in the GridBot. So a lot of about half my profits come from GridBot. The other half have come from the smart trades. That's what it's telling me. So if I closed out this FET trade, because it's just a runner now, it would have more history. But if I look at my trade history, we can see there was this one, which was this was an experimental day trade, which I'm not really a day trader with crypto, but this was an experimental one. I did just very low risk. So that was $70 risk, so that was really just experimental. And then we had 2 losers here, Ada and Link, already once. Crow got out at break even. And then so FET was a winner, but it doesn't show up there yet because it counts it still as active since I'm holding that runner. But that runner, I want it to be a moon bag, so I guess I might as well just close it. I'll wait, maybe on a Monday stream, I'll get on and end up actually managing that position. Or whatever, clearing it from the list here, it'll count as the winner. Lock in the 40 bucks, and now I'm just holding $15 worth as a runner. So, but that could change, and that could end up one day, you know, if that's up 5x or something randomly during a bull run, then that trade was, you know, exponentially better trade risk to reward just by holding that little runner. So I always like to hold those little bits and start to stack them. I call them moon bags, right? I don't know who said that, where I got that from, but maybe altcoin Sherpa. But yeah, so those are my moon bags, and I just like to build slowly, use a little bit of the profits to build a longer term portfolio. So, I mean, those look good. Let's look at some altcoin charts is really what I want to do. So let's full screen on the charts. That Tron chart looks really nice. I would be tempted to add to my Cardano position here too. I just wish I'd sold it and then rebuy it down here. Looks like a clean move. Dip buy. So I'm just gonna go down my alt list, I guess. I do want to look at ETH first. It looks like we have the session volume profile thing on there. I'm going to take that off. There we go. So I'm going to go to the weekly chart first. So same thing. I just see this as a possible resistance area. We can see in the past here where this was a support. I mean, nothing crazy. Right here is kind of resistance, but then it broke through it. Right here, kind of. So I could see it chopping here. I see this as a potential area of interest. This little spike in volume there, we can see, kind of marks it as well. So, if I zoom out a little bit, we definitely have that crazy volume spike down here. 2,500. 3,000 pretty much, lower 3,000 area, and then pretty much 4,000 all-time high area. All-time high was almost 5,000, right? So a little bit of room up there. So, you know, I'm so biased with ETH that it's like I need a disclaimer, like having like an affiliation, because I'm always just bullish on ETH. So I'm really interested in this range right here that we've just made. And look, oh, it just so happens we're right in the middle of it. So that kind of proves my resistance area that to myself. That I was like, look, I felt like I was like looking for it, like it's almost a stretch. I maybe it would have been better to draw like a zone using like this wick right here. And those other wicks up there. Something like this. But this sums it up real good. And again, this is the weekly chart, so that's a pretty big range. So if I drop down to the daily, look at that. 4 hour. So I mean, I guess it's either come back down and get cheap again. It's crazy that's a 50% move that just did. That's wild. Or even break and retap, like break and go to highs. I'm gonna go back to the daily chart. Yeah, so hard to stay bullish right here, like entering new positions or anything like that. If anything, could see like taking profit or tightening up, potentially waiting for another move and getting back in, maybe. I could definitely see it. Catching everyone off guard, going quick, not giving time to get in. The way ETH kind of just pops like this. But they could also do anything, right? So I don't know if I'm looking for any moves besides my range. So my grid bot is set right now, let's see, between 1997 and 3256. So my grid bot is set between 1997, pretty much 2000, right? And 3256. Somewhere like this. Not the worst. I could see myself lowering it a little bit. But really not bad. It's kind of the meat of this whole range. So it kind of makes sense for a grid bot, I think. So I'm not going to touch this. If I was really bullish on it, I mean, if we broke out above here, then maybe what I should do is add it to this. So right now I have it set to right here, 3256. So I'm going to put a breakout above this. Oh yeah, if we get to the top of the range, I'm going to extend it. I'm going to put it a little lower, 3220, and just say that at the top of the range. Or of the grid bot. At top of the grid bot range. And even if we come back down in the range, I might end up adding. I'm just going to put these alerts here for my range. So bottom of grid bot range. Alright, so I got alert set. I wouldn't mind looking at a few more alts and then I think I'm going to be done. No need for me right now to add to the position after that pump. I don't want to give back any of my gains or anything like that. I'd rather wait for a good position. So I'm just going to scroll through my list. Of course, that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been doing really well. Might be good to stick with the large caps, right? Especially Big Daddy Bitcoin, if that's what's been outperforming. However, there's also alts moving, so look at Doge. That looks really good to me too. I was thinking about buying that. I was thinking about buying Tesla too, and Tesla, it was like the bottom pretty much where I was like talking about buying it. I never did though. All I had to do was buy a call. Okay, so I had these ranges on Litecoin and we've rejected it pretty strongly, so I probably would want to see a retest down here to think about buying more alts. If I use Litecoin as an example, which might be actually not the worst thing to use as like a thermometer for the rest of the market. So I'm not necessarily planning on taking this trade, but I'm just gonna say look for dip buy in alts. Okay, keep going. Cody is dipping a little bit harder than some of these other ones. Rune, Graph, Sui is doing really good. Turbo is doing really good. And a lot of these coins on here are just here because at one point I had a trade with them. So I could probably expand this list a lot and look at a bunch of different ones that haven't been. Some of these charts are just kind of still scary, even though they're moving right now. It's like overall, some of them are just down a lot. Like that, it's just scary. I've held too many altcoin bags back down to zero. Like, look at that. Floki, Optimism, see, like, that's a solid altcoin. And it's at, like, all-time lows, pretty much. That's crazy. NASDAQ, though, is pumping. Look at NASDAQ. That's insane. So market's doing good. It makes sense that altcoins are taking a little bit of a dip while Bitcoin's stalling. Traditional markets are doing good. So maybe a little less speculating on altcoins when bigger assets are doing good. It'd be wild to see this breaking out. It's gonna be an exciting week, actually. If NASDAQ breaks out and Bitcoin breaks out. Yeah, interesting. Crow. I forgot that I had NASDAQ on there. I'll keep going though. Let's see. It's kind of interesting chart. Kind of clear invalidation points for trades. Not really bad. I don't mind that chart. Alright, so that's all I have on this watch list. I really need to update my watch list. I got another one here. Let's see. Looks rare. I have that on here because I had gotten the airdrop. So some of these are just really random reasons why. Binance. That's Solana. So we're still in this zone. So really, I'd want to buy back down here. So I'm gonna put an alert. I'm just gonna put look for buys. XRP, Tron. Oh yeah, so this is probably my main list. Monero, wow, I really missed out on that trade. That's crazy. Wow. This breakout of this range, this accumulation, right? Accumulate it for half a year. No, 2 years. 2 years, something like that. More like 2 years, year and a half. And then just broke out. Boom. That was an awesome move. Up 75% right now from the breakout area. 80% pretty much. Can put the stop loss on like the other side of this little accumulation that happened before the breakout. Or really could put the stop loss with this wick. Like that. Probably get in after that candle. That's a weekly chart, which I mean, with crypto I would take trades based on the weekly chart, but I mostly end up dropping down to the daily when I actually chart it out. And so we'd get in somewhere around here, right? Stop loss down here. 1 hour's there. TP1, maybe hold some more or whatever. But yeah, that was a really good potential trade. I never took it. We had charted it. Someone had pointed it out or said that to check Monero, and it was like an obvious big bullish chart pattern. Sui's still just going. Sui does not care. Algorand, Maker. I could just see some DeFi running. Definitely could. Definitely making a higher high right now, and it's been making higher lows. I could see longing this. Maybe just waiting for any dip. This is a daily chart, so even a dip down here or something like that. Does not look bad. I'm actually gonna put a little alert. Lido, FET. I don't even know what a lot of these are. Prime, Arbitrum. Look how far down that is. That's insane. Yeah, I'd still just mostly want to be interested in the larger caps. If there's something that's really starting to go, I mean, I should be open-minded, even if it's like a meme coin and stuff, but mostly want to stay in large caps for now. All right, so that was all adults. So yeah, that I'm satisfied with that. I don't need to look at anymore. With where ETH is at right now, I'm not trying to buy anymore. I'd rather wait for the breakout or retest pretty much. So otherwise, I'm going to lock in what I got now and let my grid bots do their thing with the XRP and ETH positions. And yeah, that's going to be it. So I like that. I like having my grid bot right now. Hedge long. And let my swing trades play out. Maybe I give back a little bit more of these gains that we have right now, but we're up right now, so I'm not going to complain. I just want to keep locking it in. If we get some good rallies, I don't mind moving the stop losses up. All right, so that's going to do it, guys. So I just want to check in. I'm doing everything that I do, all my managing and everything I'm doing with this account, I'm doing live on this channel. So it's sometimes, you know, there's not much going on. It's kind of boring, but right now it's boring in a good way, right? Bitcoin's sitting at 103,000, so cannot be complaining. And yeah, so I'll be back on my probably Monday or Tuesday, depending on the market as well. If there's some big moves or something like that, I'll probably jump on and do an extra stream. So thanks for watching and stay up to date. Subscribe to stay up to date, and thanks to the sponsors 3commas. If you want to try out 3commas for free, you can use my code Luna, link in the description, as well as you can use that code to get a discount with a subscription. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Loving the price action, really. Wish I had a little more exposure for the bigger move, but at least capitalizing on a little bit of it. And yeah, time to check some other bags I have. I do have other exchanges and other, I have some Ethereum wallets and stuff like that. So this account, though, I'm keeping kind of separate to do with the stream. But right now I'm not really focused on my other ones, so it's kind of more long-term positions and stuff like that. Not as much trades and managing them. I'm doing that mostly in this account right now, since I've been so focused on day trading as well, that between that, well, after day trading, I haven't had as much time to focus on my swing trading for like the past year. But now I'm happy to be getting back into it with this small account, no pressure, and do it all live on stream. So it'll keep me accountable and keep me consistent, I think, to be at least checking in, monitoring the position. Most of the positions, I'm just trying to set them and forget them and let them work out one way or the other. So maybe I should have trailed my my take profit on some of those, but other than that, I think they're doing a really good job. Yeah, that auto position, the Cardano, I really could have trailed my stop. It was so close to hitting my TP. But other than that, if I wanted to be a little quicker in and out, I could kind of like decide to close my positions before the weekends if I wanted to, or something like that. I've never really done that before, though. I'd rather just let them play out. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again this upcoming week. So have a good weekend. Take it easy, touch some grass, and get that balance before another trading week. So this week it's gonna be light with the news, so I don't expect anything too crazy. But with the current conditions and current U.S. politics, anything can happen, and it can happen quick. You know, just a few tweets can cause a reaction in the market. So I think it's a good timing to stay diligent and to make sure I'm checking on my portfolio, checking in on my charts, and managing and looking for opportunity. If we did get a continuation breakout to the upside, I might want to add some exposure. Other than that, or even increase my range that my grid bots are working. So other than that, though, I like that I've been at least catching some of these moves and doing it really safely and managing my risk really well. So happy with the way it's going so far. So all right, guys, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I will be seeing you next time. All right, guys. Peace out. Ciao, cacao. See ya.